The mysterious case of an 11-year-old girl with constant bloating, nausea, and abdominal pain. Let's get right into this video. So this is a case study about GI issues, bloating, nausea, and pain. 11-year-old female presents with bloating, nausea, and feeling of food coming up, especially at night. So it happens after dinner, she's trying to go to bed, and she starts to feel it in her stomach and her esophagus. This has been going on for 2 to 3 years and has significant issues with sleep because she can't fall asleep with that discomfort. So she would go to bed maybe at midnight, 1 o'clock, and then would have to get up to go to school. So she's been to multiple providers because this has been going on for 2 to 3 years. She finally went to Children's Hospital in Boston, and she had an endoscopy done. They did a biopsy and it was negative for H. pylori, which is a very common infection in the stomach called Helicobacter pylori. They also checked for celiac disease and it was considered negative. So she doesn't have H. pylori or celiac disease causing her symptomatology. They did a stool test and they checked for something called calprotectant, which is an inflammatory marker for GI inflammation. They also did a breath test and it was positive for lactose intolerance. So now we know we have lactose intolerance. They removed lactose, or basically dairy, from her diet, and she still has all these symptoms. And this is again going on for a very long time. History. Traveled to India in 2023, and she had an episode of vomiting, right? Significant vomiting while she was there. Parents' concern is that her 15-year-old brother is diagnosed or was diagnosed with Crohn's disease and is actively being treated for it. So there is significant concern on the parents' portion or parents' part to what's going on with this child. They came in with some blood markers. They did some labs. They did ferritin. It's 15. The number should be 30 to 204. So basically, her ferritin is low. Her storage iron is very low. Iron saturation is 16, and it should be between 15 and 50. Obviously, that's on the very low side. So she's moving towards what we call iron deficiency as a result. Now, vitamin D was 26, and that's low. What did we do in our office? Obviously, we did our physical exam. She did have significant bloating on palpation of the abdomen. We did a DNA PCR test for the stool to look to see if there was any dysbiosis, intestinal permeability, or infection. So when we did the test and got the results back, we found a C. diff toxin AB. Now, there's a certain portion of the population might have some DNA of this, but it's not symptomatic, okay? We checked for H. pylori in her stool. That was never done, and she was actually positive for H. pylori in the stool test. There was significant amount of dysbiosis. She had an elevated secretory IgA. Secretory IgA is basically the immune cells of the GI tract. She had little to no Akkermansia municipale, which is a very important gut microbiota, which is responsible for degrading and producing or helping produce mucus for the GI lining. Obviously, like I said, during the exam, we noted significant bloating. So a working diagnosis is really that she has an infection, she has dysbiosis, and she also likely had something called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is causing a lot of the bloating. Now, we did not test for that, but on clinical signs and symptoms, it was highly probable that she had SIBO, okay? Now, what did we do for her? The protocol. So we did a gut protocol, which is basically things like glutamine, diglyceride licorice, aloe vera extract, marshmallow root, etc. We gave her S. boulardii, or Saccharomyces boulardii. We also gave her Akkermansia municipalia. There's a company called Pendulum that makes this. We also gave her an antimicrobial spray. Now, these are all either powders or liquids because she's an 11-year-old child who has difficulty swallowing these large pills. So we try to keep it to basically liquids or powders. Powder, you can open up the capsule, powder. This is an antimicrobial spray that you can put in your throat to help kill off overgrowth or infection. And we also did a time-released oregano. Now this was a tablet. They needed to break that in half in order for her to take it, okay? So this is our protocol. What I'll do is I'll link the exact products that I utilized in the description below, okay? Now, we did a 4-week follow-up for her, and when she came in, she had 80% improvement overall. She wasn't sleeping well, and now she's able to sleep. Her energy is up, and she's starting to feel much better going to school and her activities. She had a 50% reduction in reflux signs and the bloating, and then 75% improvement in sleep because she was no longer feeling that squeezing or regurgitation of food in her stomach. So the overall improvement in 4 weeks has been phenomenal. Obviously, we'll be tracking her and see how she does overall, but I expect a complete resolution in her symptoms within the next 3 to 4 months. This is the protocol. This is an important case study. It's often missed in conventional medicine. If you went there, they say, hey, there's nothing else going on here. We don't know what else to do for you. Obviously, she went to the best hospital in Boston, Children's Hospital, and they still could not do anything for her because her symptoms persisted despite all the things they did for her. Again, my name is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results, and we'll see you guys next week on the healthy side. Have an awesome day.